Ever stop to think about the straight line that runs from deep inside the Earth, right to the phone in your hand? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're going to explore how raw minerals become the energy that powers, well, literally everything.
It all starts right here, in places just like this. The device you're watching this on, the room you're in, the car you might drive later, all of it begins its journey deep within the Earth. These are the literal building blocks of our civilization. But, digging them up, that comes with a story. And it definitely comes with a cost. And that, right there, is the central question we're tackling. We absolutely need this power. We need these materials, no question about it. But at what price? It's this constant tension between progress and consequence, and that's what we're going to unpack. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, what these treasures even are. Then we'll zoom into a fantastic case study with Pakistan's rich resources. After that, we'll see how you actually turn a rock into energy, face the environmental price tag, and finally ask, is there a better path forward?
Okay, first up, Earth's hidden treasures. Before we get into the complex stuff, let's make sure we've got the foundations right.
So what are we even talking about here? A mineral resource, it's really just an inorganic substance found in rocks that we can use for our economic activities. It's a pretty simple definition for something that underpins our entire global economy. And these resources fall into three main buckets. You've got your metallic ones, iron, copper. Then there are the non-metallic ones, like clay. And then, the big one for our story, energy minerals, like coal and oil, which we use to generate power. Okay, now let's make this real. We're going to zoom in on one country that has an incredible variety of these resources, Pakistan. And a huge part of Pakistan's mineral wealth is something you interact with every single day, probably without even realizing it, copper.
See, copper is an amazing conductor of heat and electricity. So, it's the backbone of our electrical grid, it's in the pipes that bring water to our homes, it's inside the circuit boards of all our electronics. You might even have pots and pans made of it. It is absolutely essential.
Now this is really cool. What you're looking at here is a direct link from a rock to the food on your plate. This is dolomite, a non-metallic mineral. When you use it as a fertilizer, it improves the condition of acidic soils, which helps us grow more food. Rock to food. Wild.
And listen, copper and dolomite are just scratching the surface. This table just perfectly shows the sheer scope of Pakistan's mineral wealth. I mean, we're talking about everything from marble and granite for buildings to gold and crude oil, all the way to chromite and iron ore for industry. It's like a geological treasure chest.
So, we know these treasures are down there, but how do we get from a rock in the ground to the electricity that keeps the lights on? Let's take a look at how these minerals are actually transformed into power.
Broadly speaking, there are two main paths. First, you have non-renewable. These are finite resources, think coal and oil, that took millions of years to form. Once we use them, they're gone for good. The other path is renewable, sources like the sun and wind that are, for our purposes, basically infinite. They can be replaced or they just keep on coming.
And how do we actually get them out? Well, for solids like coal, it's mining or quarrying. That means either digging these massive open pits or tunneling deep underground. For liquids and gases like oil and natural gas, we drill, sometimes thousands and thousands of feet below the surface of the land or even the ocean floor.
And this brings us to the heart of it. All this digging, all this drilling, all this energy, it doesn't come for free, not by a long shot. There is a very real, very significant environmental impact. This chart tells a really powerful story from 2006. Back then, our world was running almost completely on non-renewable energy, over 87%. And yeah, the share of renewables has grown since then, but this just shows the massive scale of the system we built on top of these finite, carbon-heavy fuels.
So what does that dependence actually cost us? Well, the source material is crystal clear on this. It leads to permanent scarring of the landscape, soil erosion that washes away precious fertile land, pollution in our rivers from chemicals used in processing, and just mountains of waste rock left behind. And here you can see the two paths right next to each other. On the left, you've got a diagram of underground coal mining, a process that happens deep inside the earth. And on the right, you've got the incredible Tarbela Dam in Pakistan, harnessing the power of moving water. Just two completely different ways of thinking about how to generate power. So all of this leads us to our final section, a path forward. Given everything we've just seen, what are the choices we face for our energy future?
It really boils down to this core trade-off. On one side, you've got fossil fuels. They have decades of established infrastructure, which makes them reliable, but they have a finite supply and a really heavy carbon footprint. On the other side, you've got renewables, sustainable and way cleaner, but they require a huge build-out of new technology and infrastructure to meet our massive global demand.
But the case for alternatives is, well, it's pretty compelling. They don't pump out the greenhouse gases that are warming our planet. They offer a cleaner, more sustainable way to get our energy. And maybe the most undeniable point of all, fossil fuels, by their very definition, are going to run out one day. So, we end right where we started, but now with a much clearer picture. The demand for energy isn't going away. It's completely fundamental to modern life. The question isn't if we need power anymore. The question is, how are we going to choose to create it? And honestly, that's a choice that is going to define our entire future.